Welcome to the green room. Just me by myself in the green room right now, hanging out.
That would be a good name for an eagle.
Elliot's right here. No, green room's
Oh wait,
good.
no Chris Long's the green light.
Green light.
Yeah.
Green room's good.
Green room is good.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever
did that.
in
Well
the
done.
chat did that. How you feeling?
Good. I have some stuff to say.
Good. In the green room or in the show?
In the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah. It was a morning.
Yeah, you had quite the morning.
I did.
You know what's funny? So you called me at, I don't know, 6:30 or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
6:35
And
during the break.
so my alarm
Like,
was
Elliot, can you come on?
well, so my alarm was set for 6:20 because I was getting up anyway. But when I saw your phone call at 6:30, at first I was like, this is definitely a mistake. Like I was like, he's definitely pocket dialing me. So I almost didn't pick up and
Thank
then
God
text
you
you
did.
being and then I could tell right away it was not a mistake.
Well, you were great. Thank
Yeah,
you
it
for
was-
filling in.
Always happy to come on.
All right. We ready?
Yes, I think we are.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It means the world. to us.
You sound very NPR right there.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Hello. Welcome to the green
Well, it's
room.
perfect time. Okay, well, let's just
Welcome to
start.
the green room.
Let's just start. Yeah, 'cause I
Eliot
have something
Shorr-Parks
on
and
that.
James Seltzer. We're talking Eagles today.
That's right.
Can you imagine me on NPR? All right, let's roll.
No, I can't. I mean, I'm sure you
That's
do
the
a great
joke. I can
job
fake it,
because
but I
you do a
certainly
great
could do
job,
it,
but I
yeah.
feel like it'd be an adjustment period for you. Maybe and the listeners, I would
Yes,
say.
it
as
would
well.
be. All right, let's go. Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. Day 20.
Day 20. A
Day
nice round number.
20.
Brian Dawkins Day.
How about it, man?
We should try to think of a different
Oh,
player
Eagle
for each
player. I
number.
like this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Dawkins 20,
Dawkins.
19. That's JJ.
Oh, sure. That's where the mind
18
goes.
Macklin.
18 Mac. I'm not great with it. It's the one thing I'm not. It's funny.
Really, I'm actually pretty good.
Well,
at
how
it.
funny is it? Because I can remember, like, I'm great at like names and I'm great at phone numbers. It's not like
Yeah.
for some reason like jersey numbers. Anyway, 17 to Kobe. We can go
Yeah.
there.
So we'll go. Be fun to do moving forward.
Yeah.
21 Bobby Taylor.
Keep going. There
22
we go.
Asante Samuel.
You're good at them.
23. How about Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie or Chauncey
I think we should go
Gardner-Johnson?
Rodney McLeod. No, at 23, right?
Who's
Wasn't
had a
he
better?
23. Rodney was 23.
I'm
right?
pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's had a better Eagles career, Chauncey or Rodney?
I'll tell you after 2 weeks from now, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if Chauncey wins one, I think at
Yeah,
that
he's
point-
up there. Rodney was here.
Rodney
for a
was
while,
an
though.
awesome
Rodney was
player,
a really good
though.
Eagle.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, tons to get into today. We're going to do the Bet Parks picks pod a little bit later. Obviously, only 2 games to pick, so we'll talk
Yeah.
some birds beforehand. I want to get into Cam stuff. There's a lot
Yeah.
to do. But first,
So while you find
to our guy Jim, I'm going to go towards the back. I always go towards the front.
Yeah.
Going towards the back.
While you find a passage, you know what's funny, and this is probably not surprising. There's a copy of this book in almost every Eagles locker. How many copies of this book do you think Jim Murphy has given away in the past? Whatever.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so many.
Fun fact. I saw Matt Breen of the Inquirer tweet this. Moro Ojamo gave AJ that book.
No way.
A fun little story.
What a fun story. I'm really happy you said that.
A really fun, like, Big J story. Like just a little nugget that it's like,
I'm gonna
how
make-
happy were they?
That's a story.
Exactly. When they heard that, it was like
let me
alarms
ask, let
were
me
going
ask
off.
a press conference question. about
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Like just so perfect.
All right. Well, I think this one's appropriate as we
Okay.
head into
I thought
Sunday.
yesterday's was.
It was as we head into Sunday, being led by an extraordinary leader in Nick Sirianni.
I like it.
3 hallmarks of extraordinary leaders. We will not read the hallmarks because that's probably deeper in the chapter.
Yeah.
But I will read one paragraph about appropriately a team that just won a championship.
Wow. We've been good with this.
Jim Tressel, head coach at Ohio State University.
Wow.
Champions. Shout out to Gordon Columbus.
Jim Tressel reminds me a lot of another NFL coach whose name I can't think of.
Okay.
You would probably remember him if you.
If I could, yeah.
Jim Fossil.
Fossil, sure.
Yeah.
Different guys with the name.
Yeah. And I feel like look similar.
Well,
But
his son is a special teams coach.
Oh,
Bones
okay.
is his nickname. Great
Wow.
nickname. Anyway, all right. We'll read now. Jim Fossil, head coach, Ohio State University, took a trip to the little town of Gambier, Ohio. He went to speak with Jim Steen, Kenyon College swim coach. Tressel, who has guided the Buckeyes to 5 Big Ten championships in 8 seasons, sought out Steen, who's won 49 national championships. Yes, 49.
Hold on.
Tressel and Steen have both learned a few things over the years, including how to develop leaders, how to focus on the process of high performance, perhaps most of all, how to build a family.
All right. So here's my
No,
takeaway
no,
from
it's
that.
more information than
Yeah, I don't know where he was going at the end of that, but like talking how to build a family with this some random swim
I think
coach.
he'll get there.
Can you imagine being that swim coach and Jim
But it's
Treshel?
interesting though, the family thing. I mean, who are we talking about?
No, I agree. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just funny to picture your swim coach and Jim Treshel shows
I know,
up.
being like, let's talk.
Let's talk about. Here's
How
my
did
thing.
you do this?
49 championships.
Pretty good. He must be like 80 or something.
Well, okay, so that's what I was gonna
late
say.
70s. 60s.
Either one of two things. One, he's super old.
Yeah.
Or two, it's not that hard to win the championship. 49 years in a row. I think at that point you got to be like, it hits a little different.
Yeah.
Number 37 probably didn't,
I would doubt number
elicit the
37
same
was as cool
response.
as number 1.
Yeah,
or 2 or
exactly.
3. Yeah.
I wonder at what the competition's like in this little time.
49's a little nonsensical. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
are they going up against themselves?
at one point, they're not winning championships. They're just participating.
Is anyone else even playing?
Right.
Like, is it just like, oh, well, they win. Congrats.
It's got to be almost a bit of a buzzkill.
Yeah. Think about it. Well, I'm sure now it's the point where if you get to like 5, 6, whatever, then
we're talking 49.
Then all the best that's my point. Is
Right.
then you get all the best swimmers in the area, and then you probably just like if you don't make it there, then you're done. And
I understand like you go to every event wanting to compete, but can you imagine being another swimmer going up against a school?
No.
It must just be like, what's even the point?
Congrats.
All right, here's a question.
Yes.
How many Super Bowls do you think the Eagles would have to win in a row, or any team, before the NFL stepped in? Like if the NFL like if
what would the NFL do by
if they won 10
Shut
straight?
It down, like you can't.
I think they would have to rig it. If they won 10 straight, do you think going into a number 11, they'd be like, all right, you know what? Like,
it's a great question because
I think they would. I think they would want to do something. Imagine if they won 49 in a row. How like boring that would. Like it would be awesome, obviously.
But
I think even by like number 12,
like,
it would probably.
And then win one, it'll mean more.
I think by how many in a row would they have to win before you were like, okay? I think it's definitely not 3. It's not 4.
No.
I don't think it's 5.
No.
6. I think 7 or 8 is when you would get
you're
to like
to someone who's won one Eagles championship and one
Right,
championship in his lifetime. So like,
but
bring them on. I know what you mean.
Would you rather lose number 7 and then win 8? You know what I mean? So it's like feeling a little something again.
I'd rather all of this. Okay,
Right.
I'll take it all.
49 in a row would be pretty wild. Yeah, be quite the run by the team.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some Birds because if they are going to win the Super Bowl this year, they're gonna have to figure it out.
They're gonna have to field a team
on Sunday.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? Pretty good, right?
Good. Yeah, the center of attention.
So it's weird talking before we do the pod because normally I'll talk to you on the phone.
Right, we did the radio hit this morning. You stepped in.
Yeah,
James Foles over here.
That was the nicest thing.
Yeah, Nikki Seltzer.
Yeah, I did step in. I mean,
you did.
It's a good omen.
You did.
All right, let's start with Juergens.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday, and obviously we'll get to Goddard. Yesterday we talked about it. I was like, oh well, you just missed practice.
Yeah.
They didn't practice yesterday.
So I think.
So real quick, start though, because something that confused me was in the press conference prior to practice. They asked Nick, "Will they be out there?" And he's like, "Yes, they will be out there."
Right.
What the hell happened?
So
what's your read on the?
Here's my understanding. And I honestly, I can show you the text message to prove this was my thought. I won't because I know you believe me. I think Nick took the question literally. Like
they'll be standing.
Yeah.
Outside.
Now the issue is Goddard was literally at practice. Cam was not. So I think with that answer with Nick, he probably was a little bit of gamesmanship for sure, a little bit of not wanting to tell the truth, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no upside for Nick to do that when like 20 minutes later or 50.
I've never understood that. Like we're all gonna find out in a half hour
practice, and he's like trying to lie about something that happened that you didn't see or whatever it is.
Right.
But like, you're gonna know.
Well, and also they have to put an injury report out.
Away.
So you can make the argument that Nick talks at 12, the injury report comes out at 6. Like maybe that Washington has 6. No, he definitely meant it.
Yeah, I think he was like, they're gonna be saying, and I think he probably thought Cam would be out there, just not practice.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
Maybe honestly, he probably thought Cam and
Goddard
would be watching.
Would both be watching, and he's like, yeah, they'll be out there.
Well, and the other thing to consider is that means they were probably at the walkthrough but not participating. If I had to guess.
I think we can assume Goddard obviously was. If Goddard was there,
well, walkthrough is different. Like you can participate in the full walkthrough, but then be a do not practice.
Of course, my point is, if Goddard was there yesterday, I'm sure he was there for the walkthrough.
Yes. Oh yeah, my bad. So actually, let's do Goddard quickly because I think it's much simpler than Juergens. I think Goddard's going to play. I don't think he's going to be 100%. We'll see if he can play all the snaps he normally plays. I think Goddard's a tough guy. I know he's hurt a lot, but I do still think he is a tough guy that plays through injuries. Right. So I think it's simple.
Back from injuries and
Goddard's going to play. and I think he's an important player. And you've brought this up, and I think it was a good point. Like, he's been a big part of their passing attack.
No,
yeah.
what I said is true. He has been their best receiver in the playoffs.
Yes, I agree.
Like it or not,
100%.
he has had more big catches.
Dude, he had more yards on that one touchdown catch than AJ has in 2 games.
Isn't he their leading receiver?
I mean, he's got to be.
He must be, right?
I can't think.
I'm just assuming he.
AJ has 34 yards. So Devontae can't have that much more.
Yeah, I think he's their leading receiver in the playoffs.
So, but I think he'll play. It's just a matter of his effectiveness, really. And if he can play the whole game. Like, there's a real world where he comes out, wants to play, he's good to go, and then a quarter in, it's like, this thing hurts. Like, I shouldn't say hurts. Like, he's unable to play. So that's the Goddard thing. The Juergens one is more complicated because it involves moving people around. There's, his job. His job is more complicated.
They just put Calcaterra in. It'll be a downgrade, but at least the guys played games this year at that position. We're talking about shuffling everything in the spot where it's most important that you have cohesion.
Right. So I honestly, we can talk through this together. I'm having a tough time deciding where I land on this. So let me present all the information to you, and then you help me decide where.
Sure.
All right. So didn't practice on Wednesday with the back. At that point, I was kind of like, not a big deal. Like, not ideal, but they don't practice a lot of guys on Wednesday. So I wasn't super. Now, the back is not what you want to see, obviously, right? Like, a back for an offensive lineman is a really, really tough injury. So, but going into practice on Thursday, I thought he would probably practice. And then when he didn't, and then also when Landon took snaps at center, I thought that was a really bad sign.
Well, so it's a good point. For those who don't know, normally in practice, if a guy's out like that and he's fine, they would just put the backup. Nick Gates
they'll just put him in the back
and just say, all right, let's run like
because Landon's expecting to play guard, so he's practicing a guard. So Landon taking snaps at center. Now it's worth noting Nick Gates did too, but Landon taking snaps, at center was very, very worrisome to me.
He said it's the first time all season.
Yes. So obviously something is going on with Cam. Now so at that point, I'm in a position of thinking, he didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday. Landon's practicing at center. They're being a little cagey about, if he's going to be there, whatever. Like, I'm worried. So I think that's kind of where I should stop my analysis of it. But then I go in the locker room, and they all sound like Cam's going to play. Like, Landon's acting like he's going to play.
It's like, listen, I'm not a doctor, but I think he's playing. Yeah.
Lane didn't seem like super concerned. When he talked, now Lane did talk about Landon taking snaps at center and about how he's like a really good communicator. And so where I probably fall on it is, I think Cam probably plays, but he's definitely not 100%. And he won't have practiced all week, essentially. Like, maybe he'll practice today. We're recording this at 10, practice at 1. We'll find out then.
Even then, and today it's not like a super
I mean, Thursday is the big day.
Yeah.
Like, Thursday is the one you want everyone at. So, yeah, I think he might play, but I mean, where are you at with it?
I'm right there.
Those are all the tea leaves. So
my guess is he'll play just because these guys are warriors. He seems like a warrior.
You get 2 weeks off.
They're talking about it. You get 2 weeks off after the game. It's the NFC Championship game. Like, I think he's gonna try and go. To your point,
that's where
I'm far more concerned that he won't be able to finish, or that he tries and he can't.
Right.
So I'm with you. I'm concerned about it. Like, it's funny, and we'll get to how Hurts looked yesterday, but like, this whole week, I'm like, my top 5 concerns: Hurts' knee.
I know. And now it's not even.
Now it's like not even top 5.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely Cam, and then Dallas, and then you can point to other things, but like, the Cam injury, I think, has to be right now for all Eagles fans their biggest concern. I think heading into this game, I think it's the biggest question mark heading into this game. And to your point, like, those 5 guys have to be as cohesive, as in unison, going exactly the same way, knowing exactly where the other guys are, about leverage and all these other things. And they have been the heart of this team this year, the heart of the offense.
And Cam's a Pro Bowl player.
Yeah.
Like, let's not, mitigate the fact that he's been unbelievable.
And Landon, I love Landon, and I would rather, if Cam can't play,
I'd rather go Landon and Steen.
I think it's the right move to move Landon to center,
right,
and put Steen instead of going Gates and keeping Landon at center.
Now, here's another thing to think about. Let's say this happened in week 5. I think they probably start Nick Gates and keep Landon.
I agree with you.
So here's my 2 ways to look at it. 1, it's a huge game, so they're just going with the best players.
Yeah.
2, do they think he's like not going to play in the Super Bowl? Like, is this like a shift where he has a back injury and they're like, Landon's going to.
Who knows? We don't know. I mean, a back injury is
right. Like, he could be really hurt. Like, we have no idea.
We have no idea. The way they're talking about stuff, it doesn't seem that way, especially with the players.
They could also be lying. Just putting.
They could.
Out there. Yeah.
I believe the coaches lie more than the players do.
Yeah.
for the most part. But I agree with you. They could be, or they could just not know how bad it is.
Right.
Who knows? Like, they might want to shield the players from that. They
Right.
might not say, Cam, don't tell them about it. Like, who knows?
Yeah, but Cam, they're all pretty tight.
I
I'm sure
agree.
they know
I
exactly.
agree.
I am sure Landon. Now it could be you have to wake up and see how he feels,
Well,
and so
yeah, for
maybe that's
sure.
it. But I would guess Landon, all them have a very, very good idea if Cam is going to play or not. But I do think Landon and Steen is much more of a long-term fix than a Band-Aid. Now, it's a championship game, so you probably don't want to go with a Band-Aid, right? So there's that. But the Landon and Steen thing, if that's what they go with, feels like this might be what we have to do in the Super Bowl too.
So I gotta correct something. Tucker texted us. Apparently, it's day 19. We've done a horrible job here.
Really?
Does that make sense? Because it would be 20. And
I mean, you know how I do it, so we can go through that.
Tucker's right. It's day 19. Tomorrow's day 20.
So it's JJ Day. That's
JJ
less
Day.
exciting than Brian.
Less
Dawkins
exciting day than Dawkins Day.
Yeah.
That's all right, though. The radio show is Brian Dawkins Day.
Yeah, 20.
That's even better.
Exactly.
Tucker, why you got to correct us on that? No, he's right.
Yeah.
Got to get it right.
That's good.
All right. So that's where it's at with Cam. I don't think there's much more to say. You know, we're
find out today.
Theorizing, projecting, who knows. Goddard, you already covered. Let's get to Jalen, and then we'll, we pretty much talked out the game. Like, there's not too much.
We'll do it's a prediction day.
Prediction day, and I do want to get to Joe Whitt quickly, but first, let's start with Jalen and how he looked yesterday. I know we talked around the radio, but for those who haven't heard, Jalen, a full participant in practice yesterday. You guys actually got to see him moving out there. What were your impressions?
So I thought he looked fine. Now, I will say,
thank you.
Not to diminish your excitement.
He wasn't doing.
He would have to look pretty bad for me to look and be like, uh-oh. Because I mean, I basically see him stretch. I see him
do a couple
warm ups, and I see him run a little. Like, it's not like he's
not cutting.
Yeah,
he's not like
but like, I'm also in the locker room, and this is maybe just a random observation, but I feel like he's been in the locker room more this week. Talking with guys. He was playing ping pong yesterday.
Well, you saw on the radio. He just it feels like he seems better.
Yeah,
than he did the last couple weeks.
I thought going into the Green Bay game, he seemed a little like
off.
Yeah, just put out. Maybe would be the best, just because he hadn't played in a few weeks. He was coming off concussion. It feels like it had been a rough few weeks for him. I think this week he seemed much more like Jalen, but also, like, honestly, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've seen Jalen walk through the locker room when media is there and like joke around with players, and he was doing that this week.
Buddy, let's go.
I also
let's go.
Also saw him and AJ talking at the locker, which I also very rarely see. So it does feel like Jalen is locked in and ready to go. And for what it's worth, like, no limp, nothing like that. He wore loose pants at practice yesterday, so it was hard to tell if he had a brace on. I would guess he probably had a brace on. Like, bro, play with a brace. Like, I don't know how much it hurt.
Yeah.
But like, if you're dealing with a knee injury, like, let's just be safe here. But I feel much, much better about Jalen physically now than I did at the beginning of the week.
Which is just massive news, him being able to run and all that. All right.
It's a big deal.
Let's quickly get to the Joe Whitt thing, then we can make our prediction when we make the picks.
Yeah.
All right, the Joe Whitt thing. So for those who didn't see it, I'm assuming most people have by now, but
seems like it blew up.
Yeah. Joe Whitt, Washington's defensive coordinator, in a press conference asked about Jalen and basically said, hey, we're going to hit him. Like, if you want to run with him, we're going to come for him.
Yeah.
Essentially, your thoughts.
So I think we should at least mention he was asked about defending mobile quarterbacks, not specifically Jalen, but obviously he's talking about Jalen, right? And the way he said it was very much like it's on them to protect him, right? So I asked Nick about it. Good timing with when Joe Whitt said it, because I heard it like 10 minutes before Nick talked. Yeah, so and Nick didn't really say much, to be honest, but he was
Nick's not Joe Whitt. He's smarter than that.
Yeah, well, he was basically, we're always going to protect Jalen. We know people try to hit him, like, so. I guess where I would fall on this is, like, obviously they're going to try to hit him.
Yeah.
Like, of course, right? I think, like, alerting the Eagles
is so foolish.
Alerting the refs. Now the Eagles can call the refs
or
before the game.
Like, the refs are going to be looking for it, especially after Frankie Luvu knocked Church
yes,
the last
and
game
especially with how chirpy the last game was. Like,
and the Luvu stuff has become a thing. Like, after the Goff hit, like, it's going around. Like, the refs will be aware of it.
And I think, like, early in the game especially, the refs are going to be, like, trigger happy with flags. They're going to be
it's Hockey, his kid,
a
Stan or whatever.
It's wild. It's this kid.
Yeah, the young Hockey. His crew throws more than, like, they're above the average in terms of
flags or for specific
flags.
type. Okay,
for flags.
So yeah, I think it was. I don't think he meant it as like a threat, but I think it came off that way, and that's really all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Like I don't think he meant like I'm going to go to the podium and say we're going to hit Jalen. I think he was just basically saying if you're going to run your quarterback, we're going to hit him, which makes sense. The Eagles do the same exact thing.
Well,
but the timing of when he said it, how he said it, I think is an advantage for the Eagles.
I think it is the biggest advantage is what you mentioned with the refs. I think that's the biggest thing is putting it on the refs' radar, making them aware. I mean, that's the way it works. We know this. But I think the other big advantage too that you didn't mention is that, hey, guess what? You got a running quarterback too. And you're telling this Eagles defense, you're the one saying we're going to do it. This Eagles defense like, oh, okay. Guess what? We're going to hit your dude too.
Yeah.
And Jalen Daniels runs a lot.
He does. And he's not as strong. Let's just be real. He's not as strong as Jalen.
He's not even close to as strong as Jalen.
He's much skinnier.
I think it was unwise. I mean, look, the reason he wasn't as good the first time we played him was because he hurt his ribs running. I thought it was unwise of Joe Whitt on multiple levels. The refs thing top, but I also thought it was unwise of him to alert the Eagles defense that, hey, this is what we're thinking to get them fired up about it. It is bulletin board stuff.
I agree. So there's something someone said to me yesterday that struck me more than anything else has this week.
Whoa!
And it has me like, we're about to do predictions. Like, I'm picking the Eagles.
Oh,
so
confidence is back.
Yeah, I'm back. So here's what it is. And I haven't heard anybody else say this, but I think everyone should be. We are underestimating the revenge factor in this game.
Oh, from the last game.
The Eagles' last loss was to Washington.
Great point.
When Washington beat them, they chirped a lot on the field afterwards. There was the Zach Ertz and Nick Sirianni thing. There was chirping during the game.
I forgot about the Ertz
on
thing.
social, it was all big, right? Like all their players after the game were all excited they beat the Eagles. And it was the last loss for the Eagles. And the Eagles got a lot of criticism after that. Chauncey got thrown out of the game.
I think they win the game, Chauncey. I know there are multiple things if Devontae catches or whatever, but I think specifically alone, if Chauncey doesn't get tossed, I think there's no way they get 22 fourth quarter points.
I agree. So I think that combined with all week, who's been the more talked about team being positive?
Daniels
that's all they've heard. Jaden Daniels. They're gonna have to deal with them for years. Yep, 100%.
Can you believe the run this kid's on? What he did in Detroit?
Washington.
All the stats about him against the blitz. Him about all the negative plays he had, which is 0 in the playoffs, which is pretty amazing. Like all of it.
Combine that with the fact that when the Eagles won last week, all week it's negative, right? So I'm telling you right now, the players hear this stuff.
Yes.
And the players remember the last team that beat them was Washington. And they remember how Washington acted.
You're getting me so fired up right
now. I'm telling you, when I heard it yesterday, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I think this team gets to play a card very few home team in the NFC Championship teams get to play. I think they feel disrespected and angry. Well, and I had already said
what happened in 2017.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'd already said I thought this team was mad.
You've said it all year.
I think
since they've kind of turned the corner.
Yeah, I think if they were playing Detroit, it would just be more of a let's go.
Yeah, great team,
approving.
Yeah.
I think against Washington, it's let's get back.
You know how much
I know. That's how So
and this team has shown that they create that for themselves. I mean, again, the AJ Brandon thing, that was self-created drama so that they could thrive off it and do us against the world.
And that's where the Joe Whitt thing comes in too. Yep. So now it's okay. So last time you beat us, you were chirpy all game.
You knocked our quarterback out.
You knocked our quarterback out.
Clearly dirty hit. Whatever anyone else wants to say, he led with his helmet at the ground, clearly dirty. I don't care if Jalen was not sliding or whatever. It was helmet to helmet.
After game on the field, there was a lot of chirping. And now you're talking about hitting Jalen? I think the Eagles are I think they're going to win the game, but I think you're going to see a very, very motivated team on Sunday, which, look, they're going to the Super Bowl. But I just mean in a game like this, any extra motivation you can get, and I think the Eagles have it.
I've said this for the history of it on the pod, this sport more than any other, wanting it more than the guy across from you, caring more, being more angry, being whatever it is, it just matters.
Well, and also what matters is, let's be real, not liking the person across from you.
Hate
especially in football.
Motivator.
And revenge is a powerful motivator. So
and disrespect is a powerful motivator.
Yes, and I think the Eagles check where is Watt?
It's been so much better all year, and no one's talking about it now.
And let's be real, Washington's riding high. Washington, what is the thing Nick says? Don't drink perfume or whatever
don't sniff the perfume.
They got
sniff it.
Right.
Whatever.
They got more perfume. That's a
great line. I wish I could remember it.
Yeah, what is sniff it but don't drink it?
That was
something like that. Yeah. Washington's got more perfume coming their way than they have in like years. I mean, honestly, 10 years, maybe since RG3. When's the last time Washington had this much national praise?
Probably, yeah.
And the Eagles hear that. So I'm feeling much, much more confident. Yeah.
I love this. All right. To the picks.
To the picks.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Download the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook. I'm sure most of you already have because you're great listeners.
Better have at this point.
You care about us and about having fun because that's what you can do. You can have fun with the app. It's so much fun to bet on these games. We have 2 massive games that we're about to preview coming up this weekend. By the way, we didn't mention it all, but no big deal. We won our parlay last week.
No big deal.
We haven't mentioned it all week.
I didn't even see how we did last week.
You know what? Because it's just old hat.
It's assumed at this
You
point.
went 4-0.
I did? Wow.
Oh, no, we might have. I don't remember if you picked the Eagles or not. Because the Eagles ended up covering. We did the money line for the parlay.
I don't remember, actually.
But either way, you definitely, because Houston, it was 8.5, and then I lost.
I feel like I would have picked them last week, but whatever.
Yeah, either way, you either went 3-1 or 4-0, and I went 2-2. Or I went, because I picked the Eagles. I went 2-2, but we hit our parlay because we picked the money line for the parlay, which is what we do.
I mean, this time of the year, too.
No big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So get in with us. We got a little bit of time left. We got one more parlay to do. We got the big game coming up. Get in now. You can bet on all kinds of stuff. Double the spread feature. Check on Friday. Parks will give you an option to double the spread of one of the games. It's a super cool feature at betparks.com. Plus, you bet more in the score. You can bet touchdowns, rushing yards, maybe a certain running back in Philly who's going to put up a ton of yards on Sunday, I would think.
Dude, did you see his over-under is the highest it's ever been?
Was it like 131 or something?
I think I saw it's a record.
Yeah. Well, it should be.
Yeah.
I had 205.
That's pretty absurd.
Yeah.
130.5 for an over-under.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you can bet on all that individual player performance. Plus, in addition to that, while you're watching the game, you got a casino right in your hand. You can play roulette, blackjack,
baccarat.
And that was a really good one.
I'm trying to think of new ways.
That was really
it's hard.
Good. It was like an echo. I really enjoyed
it.
Like slot games, so much fun stuff. This is the best app out there. It's the only one we use, only one we recommend. Here's a great deal for new users. Listen to this. If you sign up now, you get up to $1,000. Yes, $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. It's an awesome deal. Check betparks.com for the details. You must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
The second to last time this year.
I know.
It's pretty crazy. What a year we had, by the way. Can we take a second? And
I know,
we were both over 60% for the regular season. We will never do this again. This is the best we have ever done. Yeah, who knows? Next year, why not?
Wait, actually,
and congratulations, the first time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our picks,
I appreciate it. Well, look, it took a Herculean effort.
It really did. Like, there's no way I should have been beaten this year. You're amazing.
So we'll talk about this on Saturday, I'm sure, and obviously, well, actually, after Sunday, we won't be able to talk about it. I don't have a strong preference on Chiefs Bills.
So
I wish I did. Like, I've been asked it 4 or 5 times, and each time.
In terms of who you want to face, or in terms of who you think will win?
So I would rather, from a content perspective, face the Bills. I think it's a more exciting Super Bowl. Like, fans of Philly, I'd be happy for them. They have fans of Buffalo. Like, all those things. I like, personally, if you could tell me who could I pick, I would pick the Bills. But I've been asked 4 or 5 times, like on the radio, whatever.
What's the better match?
Each time they ask me, while they're asking, I like can't decide what I'm going to say.
I'm really struggling with it. I think because the Chiefs. I think it's the freaking Chiefs. They're going for
It's Mahomes and Andy.
But then the Bills have the Josh Allen thing going.
Right.
You would have all of America behind. That is a different.
Yeah, the Eagles would be
either be the America's team or not, because no one wants to see the Chiefs win 3 in a row.
Right.
Like, all that, or it could be us versus them, or it could be us versus the Bills, where literally everyone outside of Pennsylvania and really half of Pennsylvania is rooting for the Bills.
So
let's be honest.
So who would you pick? I can't decide. Like,
who would I
put it this way? Who do you think they're more likely to beat?
I agree with you. I think it's really good. Let me give you a stat. Ready?
It's so hard to pick, isn't it? Like,
let me give you this. I was going to wait till you're actually picking the game, but here we go. Well, I guess we'll do the other game first. We'll go.
Yeah, let's do the other game first. Yeah.
So let me give you a stat. This is the perfect stat to, or factoid information to line up with what you're saying. In the last 10 games between the Bills and the Chiefs.
All right.
Shout out to Jay Kuda on Twitter. Put this up. It's unbelievable. Last 10 games between the Bills and the Chiefs. Record: 5 wins, 5 losses. Points for 251 to 251.
Wow.
Points against, obviously, 251 to 251.
That's crazy.
So they, in their last 5 games, have played
dead even
to a tie.
Yeah.
Like, how amazing
that
is
that? Crazy.
So, like, I'm with you. This is a real matchup, a real battle, a real, like, titanic game. And I don't know. My gut says the Chiefs, because I just, like I've said to you this whole season.
I don't know the line, by the way.
I'm good. Good. We can
Yeah,
guess
I'm
it.
just saying.
My gut says that in terms of getting back to your question,
Right.
who do I think the Eagles have a better chance to beat? I think it's probably the Chiefs.
I agree.
Based on the fact that no one's ever 3P. It's really hard to get back there, and they're just tired, and it's long, and they've got one guy who's like showing up offensively, other than Mahomes, and the revenge factor. Like, you're not going in and hating the Bills. You just want to win. You're going in being like, these guys beat us in the Super Bowl 2 years
There's
ago.
that, yeah.
Like, we're gonna crush these guys. Like, so I think it's probably better for the Eagles if it's the Chiefs, because the Bills, the magical ride, the Josh Allen of it all. But like, it's really close.
But the flip side for me would be,
I think the Chiefs are better, probably.
I also think the Chiefs.
I don't know.
I know. I also think the Chiefs have the better coaching staff.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like,
we are not.
I'd be more worried about
McDermott
Spagnuolo
at the end could blow the game.
Yeah, like
and probably will against the Chiefs, and it won't matter.
Right. So I think I'd probably pick the Bills, but it's a true 50-50.
It's a true.
I wish I felt stronger when we were there.
I
just don't, though.
I feel the same way. All right, let's get to picking the actual game. Guess the line. How about it?
Well, based off that, I mean,
Bills at the Chiefs.
I don't know. Chiefs -2. Wow, there we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Funny too, because it's been 1.5 like all week. It just
did it? That's
last.
funny.
I looked this morning. It was 1.5, so it's 2.
Look at that.
The Chiefs are a 2-point favorite at home against.
I got no idea, man.
I know this is the hardest game. Like, my heart says pick the Bills because I have been riding the Bills all year. I was believed in them early. Like, I was like, the Bills are good, man. They're really, really good. Remember, there was a time where you weren't fully in.
Yeah.
So like, and it feels like Josh Allen's year, the narrative thing. We talk about it, but it's like, am I really going to pick against Mahomes at home in the championship game?
I guess where I would, by the way, you know what's crazy? It's the 7th straight year in the championship game.
Oh, I know.
Wow.
Let's say,
did Brady ever do that?
Let's say it's
7 straight.
Well, Brady went to 10 of 21, so I don't know for sure, but I would assume.
I would feel like not, but whatever.
Or no, he went to more, not 10 of 21. He only missed a few, right?
Because he tore his ACL.
Wait, I don't know.
Brady
did 8 straight.
He did 8 straight.
Tucker
okay.
just told
me. Tucker's
a stud.
Yeah,
we'd be lost without you, Tucker.
Yeah.
I will say though, to that point though, that not just that. Can we say how much more impressive it is? In the 7 years he's been a starter, he's never started
that's
a
good point.
in the NFL and
point.
not gone to the championship game.
It's a little close to the 49.
I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
It is.
Patrick Mahomes has been a starter for 7 years. He's gone to 7 championship games.
It's crazy.
Pretty good. Guys, pretty good.
100%.
I'm going to say it. Patrick Mahomes, pretty good.
Dude, I saw a tweet yesterday. It must have been a joke, but it was something like, I'm going to find it. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll find it because the wording is what makes it so funny.
It's just So I came into this thinking I was going to pick the Bills. Like, sure, I was going to pick the Bills. I feel like I got to pick the Chiefs.
I'm picking the
As I'm sitting here looking at this, I'm like, I'm not going to, like, I hope the Bills win for the Bills. For, like you said, I think it's fun. The Eagles-Bills Super Bowl feels like such a big deal. But
I think if I had to bet my house, I'd bet the Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying. If I had to bet my life on this game, I'd bet on Patrick.
Yeah, and also the Bills blowing it.
Yeah,
like
sure.
All right, so here was the tweet, and
we're both picking the Chiefs for Stokes for the official.
Yes, both picking it. So maybe he's not kidding, but I thought so. This is Andrew Hawkins, who I think is like a former player.
Yeah, he is a wide receiver. Yeah, he's a Bengal.
Yep. So he put unpopular opinion. I think Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Famer, regardless of what happens the postseason.
Like, unpopular, dude. No bleep. Like,
also, like, duh.
Dude,
like
he could retire today and be like, listen, I'm not even playing the championship game, guys. I'm done.
Right.
He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer immediately. Like, what are we talking about?
I think he's probably, it's like him and Brady are already the undisputed top 2.
Mahomes might have another Hall of Fame career between now and the rest of his
career. Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
You know, you could just take that and be like, all right, that guy's Hall of Famer. Let's see if he can do it again. I'll bet you does.
You know, it'd be an interesting way to look at players. How many had 2 Hall of Fame careers?
Yeah. I mean,
like Brady had 2 Hall of Fame careers. Like, I'd be curious.
It's a rarity.
You
have to play for a while, but fascinating.
Quarterbacks probably the only ones that can do it.
All right. Yeah, quarterback. They can play all right. So we're both picking the Chiefs. Let's get to the game. The big one, the Birds. As of right now, it has been fluctuating. As of right now, it is 6. So we get to pick it at 6 instead of 6.5. That's nice, I suppose.
So early in
So real quick, Tucker chime in with another one. 15 straight years of Brady or Mahomes in the championship game.
Wow, that is pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
They're pretty good.
Pretty good.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, it was Sean Hockley. Tucker just pumping it out.
Yeah. What did we miss? Am I right?
I know. Yeah.
Tucker, what did we miss Bagley?
New segment.
All right. So here's where I think I'm at with it. At the beginning of the week, I had pretty much decided I was going to pick the Eagles to win by 1 point. That's where, I was worried about the game. Jalen didn't play great last game. Jaden Daniels was awesome. The Eagles are banged up. I do think coming off the snow game really matters. Normally, when I'm worried about a game off the jump, I don't I don't keep the record of this, but normally it doesn't end well. But where I've decided is
Do it.
I think they're gonna win, obviously,
Do
but
it.
I'm gonna pick them to win more
You're
by a
damn
point.
right you
Yeah.
are.
I just think they're the better team. Yesterday really shifted me. The revenge thing. People I talk to just think they're gonna blow them out. People I trust. Like they're better. I just think Washington doesn't have it in them. And I'm impressed by Washington. I'm impressed by Dan Quinn. Like, but this is like the game the Eagles are built for. Like at home to go to the Super Bowl. Like they're a tough team. They win games they win games in a lot of different ways. I think Washington has to win with Jaden Daniels being awesome. And maybe it happens. Like maybe Jaden Daniels shows up and it's just unbelievable. And you know what? Like that would really suck.
Yeah, give it.
But
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles defense is good. Like you're right. I have to allow myself to think the defense could win the game. And so last week after the Packers game, I said I think Jalen would rebound. He didn't. I mean, I don't know. He's gonna have 3 straight really bad games. Like I'd be pretty surprised by that too. So I think I'll pick the Eagles to cover.
I'm definitely picking the Eagles to cover. Obviously, I've been all the time, but I actually think they're going to win. I'm picking them to win by 7, so it's close. I think it'll be a closer game. They're going to win this football game. I've said it many times. Look, I said it before, but the unprecedented, I get it, is only unprecedented until it's precedented.
Yeah.
But it is unprecedented. What? Like
4 straight road
games. No rookie has ever gone to the Super Bowl. There's a quarterback. I mean,
it's a good point.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason. There's only a reason that 4 teams have ever been able to do this, go 3 straight road games in the playoffs to win. And I don't know if they played a 4th straight road game prior to that. Washington did. And then on top of that, like you said, outside of Daniels and Hurts, and you could argue, I mean, Daniels is better right now the way he's playing, but you could argue the two are similar.
Yeah.
Every other position, the Eagles have an advantage of almost every position on the field. You can say the Eagles have an advantage at. And to your point, like they're motivated. This matters. They have a chance to go back against a rival that they hate right now. That last time they beat them, it's all set up for them. They're at home. They're at home and all set up for them to freaking play in this game at home. We thought we were going to be in Detroit.
I know.
Detroit. Like it's set up for them. This year, they've been the best team in football, in my opinion. Like, they just got to go out and beat Washington, and I think they're.
I also kind of think Washington's all bark, no bite.
I think so.
A little bit. And I think the Eagles are very clearly.
They're bite.
They have maybe the best bite in the NFL.
They are far more bite than bark.
So I feel way better about it.
All right, let's get to final thoughts, obviously. Need more daily pods.
Well, I was thinking yesterday that if they advance, we're talking about
I know, 15 more. So I have 5 or 6 extra now. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
All right. So this is one I have, and I'll be honest, it's not a great one, but I do strongly believe in it. So many times I'm flipping through the channels and I see the History Channel, and I think to myself, I could probably go for a real nice, boring documentary, quiet, just and they're always showing these dumb shows, just random shows that they've made up, Trash Pickers or I think the History Channel should only show documentaries about history. It's the History Channel. I don't want to see now they have Pawn Stars, which is good, but I think History Channel straight documentaries all the time.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it doesn't or information. It doesn't have to be a classic.
They have this show where it's people buy a lot of
aliens.
Yeah.
This is a great take. It's the History Channel.
Yes. Now, look, can they put that stuff on demand?
No, this is a great take. You don't need to clarify it any further.
Thank you.
Your original
I'm glad you agree with it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Straight documentaries all the time.
I agree. All right. I was going to do Oscar stuff. I'll save it for Monday. Another reason.
You sure? It feels like this is the day to do it.
Should I do it?
I mean, it was yesterday.
So here's the thing. I still have to see 6 of the best picture movies. So I don't have strong thoughts. Here's what I would say just off the top. I'll give deeper thoughts when we continue this because I have one to see that I was saving for today that I had forgotten. But quick thoughts on the Oscars. I need to see A Complete Unknown. The Dylan movie did really well. It got picked. Director,
well, you have to
actor.
go see that in the theater still, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna see it. I want to see it soon. The Brutalist, gotta see The Brutalist. I think The Brutalist has a real chance to win.
I think that one's on demand.
Yeah, but that one I'm gonna see The Brutalist in the theater.
Right.
I will make it to the theater. Amelia Perez got 13 nominations.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I have yet to talk to or hear of someone who likes this movie. I've talked to many people who
Amelia Perez you're talking about?
I have talked to many people who absolutely abhor, hate, loathe the movie.
Wow.
So I'm going to watch it. It got 13 noms. We'll see, but it seems like a really weird year for the Oscars. Anora's great. I saw that. I would recommend people see Anora. That's one that's in Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Director. if you want to see that, and I would go see the Brutalist, I'm going to see that.
So I did see, since we just talked about it, Adam Pearson, the guy from A Different Man, didn't get nominated for.
No,
a little surprise. I mean,
well,
I know nothing about
these.
He was
never
movies.
in the discussion.
I know, but
sadly,
I don't know.
I know. Well, look, Sebastian Stan got nominated for The Apprentice, not for. By the way, called that. Did I not?
You did.
I not?
I might have to watch The Apprentice. I think there's zero shot.
I don't want to watch it, but I'm gonna. Yeah, same. But anyway, I'll give deeper thoughts on the Oscars. My main thing that I would say now with the Oscars, 2 months away, month and a half, whatever it is, I would say see The Brutalist, see Anora, see A Complete Unknown, and I guess give Amelia Perez a shot because I think it's got a shot. But
so is this your final thought?
A Complete Unknown? No.
Okay. I
have a quick final thought that I've been saving for today. It's from Tuesday, but I saved it for today because I thought it was the best possible final thought to head into the weekend.
All right.
I never talk about these, but I talk to Nick once a week every week, right? Off the air for a second. Yes, because we have him on the morning show.
Yeah.
And we'll do a little like, hey, Nick, how you doing?
Right.
It's super nice to me. But like, it'll be like, hey, James. But it's always just a, hey, great win, Nick. Really good job. Keep it going, whatever. So this week, I changed it up.
All right.
And when Nick called in, got on the air, and for those who might not have seen the reference, the locker room speech from this past week, Tucker, don't worry, I'll censor myself. But I was like, Nick, hey, man, great win. I just want to let you know something, too. I was like, go out and beat these guys on Sunday because I'm bleeping hungry, too. And he loved it. And I told him,
what did he say?
He was like, he just laughed. He's like, that's awesome, man.
I love that. That's
because that was his speech. He did that. We're bleeping hungry. And all. So I got on the phone with Nick and I was like, Nick, I want you to know I'm bleeping hungry too, man.
And here's what I'll say.
So shout out to our guy, Nick Sirianni.
That's awesome. Great way to end the week of pods. And from what I know of Nick, I bet you he really loves that. Nick loves like competitive stuff, and when people repeat what he says,
good. That makes me happy.
I think
I never do anything like
if
that.
If he only knew the friendship that could blossom, that could blossom.
I was like, I'm going for it. So shout out to everyone.
I like it.
Awesome. All right. Tomorrow, 1 to 3, Parks Casino coming out. Obviously, listen, all our real ones. We need you to call in.
I gotta call in.
By the way, shout out to Window Nation. We have another prize to give away tomorrow.
Unbelievable.
No big deal. And then Sunday, the moment the game ends, 6:37, whatever it is, we'll be live on the WIP YouTube channel, on Twitter, reacting to an Eagles victory to go to the
hopefully during. Yeah. Well, hopefully while they're lifting the trophy.
Oh, buddy, yeah. So we will be live right after.
We'll do it during. So watch it and listen to us.
Yeah. All right. Until then, let's freaking go. He's James.